Another warning sign for the U.S. housing market as auto loan defaults are spiking. Hey everybody, Scott Walters. Buckle up, strap in. I got a hard-hitting, pull no punches, no sugarcoating, no rainbows, no sunshine. I'm just going to give it to you straight. We got a good one to unpackage today. Buckle up, strap in, hold on to your hats and your glasses as I blow the lid off the U.S. economy and the U.S. housing market. Why, you ask? Well, of course I'm going to tell you. Tied together, if we lose one, we'll lose them both, and they're both under attack as we speak. If you're new, please subscribe. Subscribe right away. Never been a more important time in history to get centered and surrounded with like-minded people. Iron will sharpen iron. We're going to sharpen a little bit of iron today, my friends. It would appear we've got a bad indicator going on for the U.S. housing market. Let's just cut to the chase. You see, there's two big purchases we make in our life, our car and our home. And banks are now reporting, you see, because cars, you can get those back a lot quicker than you can somebody's house. The realities are the banks are now reporting that auto loan defaults are spiking. So that tells me, as somebody that's been around for a while and works in the real estate industry and lived through the 2008 bubble, when we saw this one, I said, this is bubble behavior if I've ever seen it. I might warn a few of my clients at this point. I might actually put their needs before my own, put them on the sidelines, earn their business later. Now, we're out there doing a lot of deals right now, but we're getting back to traditional ways of doing deals. And agents, get ready. I know most of you are on your way out, and I'm sorry. Listen, you'll be back after you learn a few lessons. Maybe take a few lumps. You know, any savvy investor took a few lumps in their life. Experience will always outweigh any book smarts that you can obtain. And your book smarts aren't helping you right now, especially if you're telling your customers or anybody through your weekly sales meetings, objective trainings, that due to supply and demand and a limited supply, the housing market's going to remain strong because people are in their low interest rate loans. They're not going to want to get rid of those houses. Just date the rate and marry the house. We'll refinance you later. Not in a declining market. Maybe if we're in an accelerating market. A lot of you only know an accelerating market and you based your cost of living on commissions in a bubble. You're in trouble. I don't know how else to tell you this. Listen, I had to go through 2008. I suffered a little blowback. I feel I'm qualified to talk on this subject quite confidently. So when I see banks now reporting that the two biggest purchases we make in our life, cars and homes, and cars are now spiking in defaults, what's that tell you? As a forward thinker, critical thinker, what's that tell you? I'll tell you what it tells me. Tells me the housing industry's next, my friends, and it's on borrowed time. See, the realities are this, my friends. We are in a limited inventory environment, but the limited inventory we have is outpacing demand slowly as we see the national average start to drop. Where I'm sitting today, it's the episode of $1 Million Listing, the Wild West, the Twilight Zone out here, defying gravity. Selling houses for overappraised values still as we speak. If you come on priced right, you're probably going off the market with multiple. I get it, but many areas are not. That's the challenge. So real estate's local. All areas behave differently. I was just on a hike earlier today and ran into a couple of people on the hike. And of course, because I'm a salesman, I like to talk to people. We started talking. And I shared with them, what I do. I'm in real estate. And then I shared with them how this bubble got created, that there were lockdowns, and then we were all in trouble, and then we were deemed an essential worker. I'm an essential worker. Never really liked that one. And because there's lockdown, stay-at-home orders and lockdowns, we didn't have much inventory. And then we dropped rates, and FOMO took off, and the prices went up. And then we didn't raise rates until just recently, and now we're in a world of hurt. That's what's going on. But people drank the stimulus Kool-Aid. Why? Because stimulus went on for so long. Had we flattened the curve in a couple weeks, we've been back to, trying to get back to normal. Maybe we would have escaped some of this blowback, not all of it. I think there was no way you shut down the world economy for a day and escape blowback. We did for years. Insane. So the writing is pretty much on the wall for me. When I see the second biggest purchase people make in their lives, the banks now reporting that they're seeing a spike in defaults. That's the precursor of what happens to the housing market. Don't believe me? Let's jump over to today's article. Then we'll meet back here and wrap it up. Let's get started. Banks auto loan delinquency data hints at a rocky road ahead. For U.S. consumers, the juggling act of which bills to pay and when is real. To that end, the loan data from banks' earnings over the past several weeks signal that consumers are falling behind on the payments necessary to keep their cars on the road. Data from the banks illustrate the pressures in an age where as many as 15% of car buyers had a monthly payment of at least $1,000, up 10.5% from a year earlier. And Wells Fargo goes on to paint a pretty bleak picture for the auto industry. Let's get back to the studio so we can wrap this one up. All right, friends, welcome back. So there you go. That's a sum of what is going on with the banking industry. JP Morgan, Wells, they're all reporting their auto loan defaults are spiking. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if you took your stimulus check and plopped it down as a down and got underneath $1,000 a month? Car pay, shame. You should not be having $1,000 a month car payment unless you make $1 million a year. And that wasn't the people that went out and bought these cars. These car salesmen were living high on the hog. They're car salesmen. You guys are in massive trouble because you're feeling the pain now. Housing market's going to lag about 6 months behind. In 6 months from now, but the end of 23, beginning of 24, I believe we're going to read similar reports to the ones we looked at today, but they're not going to be talking about the auto industry. What are they going to be talking about? The housing industry. That's what we have to look forward to, friends. This is, in fact, the writing on the wall. In final thoughts, I come to you as a friend, as a content creator. Somebody wants to see you not only win in real estate, win in life. Understand, when auto loan defaults are now from the banks themselves, who are in big trouble because they're holding bad loans, bad auto loans. They're also holding upside down home loans. Every second we're speaking right now, another person just went upside down in their purchase of their home. They owe more money than what their house will sell for. They're handcuffed by the house. And because they didn't have me on their side to navigate them through this, they didn't check to see what the real value of their house was, what it would rent for. Because if it'll rent for its payment, then you might get out of this. Most people bought, and their payment's much bigger than their rent range. So they're handcuffed by this house twice. 2 times they're handcuffed. The writing's on the wall. This is a serious indicator of what's going to go on. A lot of people are going to suffer the blowback of this one, I believe. I could be wrong. It all becomes the percentage of likelihood. And one thing I can tell you with a high level of certainty, every single time the housing market has exhibited bubble behavior, they've crashed 100% of the time. And this was the biggest bubble ever witnessed in human history. And we see the fractures that are now taking place. My advice, I would never suggest anybody do anything that I'm not doing or willing to do myself. First thing you need to do is admit there's a problem, then get into acceptance, and then insulate yourself the best of your ability. Make sure you can weather a storm first, and then allocate a certain amount of funds to go buy in a downed market. You're not going to time the bottom, but we've definitely timed the top. We hit it. I'm going to be here to blow the lid off this thing every step of the way, because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to contact me there, along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you need help buying or selling real estate here in America, I have the biggest network of top-rated agents in the nation ready to assist you. It would be our honor and our privilege to do so. Email in the description for you as well. Also, if you're watching from your television set today and you enjoyed this video, I think you're going to love the next video on your screen. And there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Please go make it count today. I'll see you on the next video.